Oh, yes, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the GXHockeyCast. We're on episode 122. Cole Caulfield of my little hockey show, where once a week I have to talk about NHL stuff, generally focusing in on the Leafs and the Calgary Flames. Those are my two favorite teams, but I'll be discussing all 32 teams on this podcast. And oh, baby, is this ever an exciting episode. The season has officially begun. And there is as expected, there's a lot of craziness going on in the first week and a half or so of the NHL opening season. People are panicking. People are setting up parades for the Stanley Cup already. Let's all calm down. We'll take a look at the hot and slow starts and see which ones we should be worried about, which ones maybe are going to not continue to be as hot as they are, and so on and so forth. And we're going to talk about the Leafs games. We're going to talk about some Flames games, other games, milestones, news, injuries, contracts, all that shit. We're loaded up today, folks. We're loaded up, so sit tight, get comfy, and let's talk some hockey. And I think we have to start with the flamin' hot Calgary Flames. Oh my goodness. Who expected this 4-0 start for the Calgary Flames? I think they said this is the best start to a Flames season ever, like 4-0. And wow. So this is awesome. This is awesome. I had very low expectations for Calgary this season, as I imagine a lot of other people around the league have, but now I'm not saying they're going to win a Stanley Cup. I'm not even saying they're making playoffs necessarily. We're 4 games in. And really what I'm seeing out of Calgary is just no pressure. No pressure on this team this season. Like I said, expectations pretty low. And yeah, they're just kind of playing hockey right now, and they're doing well at it. I mean, it's not always the prettiest hockey, but they're winning games. The young guys are buzzing right now. Now, the only one that sucks is that Honzek I don't even think he's gotten a point yet in his first 4 games, but Connor Zari's been outstanding. And Jonathan Huberdeau, fucking Huberdeau, y'all. I think he's finally figuring it out in Calgary. Awesome start for Jonathan Huberdeau. Very, very encouraging start for him. He's looked fantastic. And I was nervous when Sharangovich went down, because last year Sharangovich seemed to be the guy that kind of unlocked Huberdeau a little bit, and not having him in the lineup worried me, but Huberdeau is doing fantastic so far. Very happy with the Flames start. Wolf has been solid. Vladar's been solid. Fucking Rasmus Andersson looks like a fucking Norris contender right now. I mean, it sucks because it seems like Rasmus Andersson is basically already traded away from Calgary. That's all the talk is around Rasmus Andersson. Like, oh shit. At this point, he's probably the highest commodity trade asset. He's not even, I don't even think he's on the market necessarily. It just seems like, yeah, he probably is. He's on his final year of his contract. Doesn't really fit in with the future of the Flames. Like, if you want to keep him, you're just going to have like a good guy back there, and like he's from where the Flames are. I know they're 4-0, but it doesn't seem like, the next couple of years are going to be very, very successful, so they could move on from Rasmus Andersson. Is he a right-handed shot? I don't know I think he might be, but regardless, they can get something very, very tasty for Rasmus Andersson if they decide to trade him this season. I mean, yeah, man, I can't ask for much more out of the Calgary Flames in the start to this season. Their first game was against Vancouver was outstanding. Now, it started bad. It started very, very badly for Calgary. I was like, oh dear, this might be the kind of season that we're in for, but as the Flames do, baby, like this is why I became a Flames fan. They're the comeback kids. They look at the face of adversity and they just keep battling, and they just always keep going, man. No matter how mediocre their teams might be, no matter how much people are down on them, the Flames just keep pushing. And I love that about this team, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. But that game against Vancouver was fucking crazy. That was, for me, that was the best game that I witnessed that week. I mean, massive comeback for the Calgary Flames. They were down, I believe it was 4-1, and then they started to creep in, and you can see Vancouver just kind of took their foot off the gas. They allowed the Flames to come back in. We'll talk about Vancouver a little bit later and see what's going on over there, but Flames push it back, and then that unbelievable slap shot goal by JT Miller ties it back up. And then Connor Zary, man, oh my goodness, what an outstanding overtime goal. Puts that game away. Man, I was losing it. I was going banana, losing it for that JT Miller goal. I'm like, oh, that is so sick. I love a good slap shot, top cheese, just fucking rip it. What a game. What a freaking game that was. It was a very, first game of the season. Like, the defense was atrocious, especially on Vancouver's end. But it was a very, very entertaining game, and yeah, man, like everything's going. Like Anthony Mantha looks really good so far. I don't know, man. I'm so happy about Huberdeau. I'm very excited. Hopefully, it looks like this is going to be the season where Huberdeau can at least get back to a point per game, as long as he can avoid these long streaks without any points. It's looking good, man, and like. It's only going to get a little bit better if Sharangovich gets back into the lineup. Who knows? I mean, I feel like the Flames will eventually cool off, and some of those other teams that maybe are struggling a little bit right now, Edmonton, they're probably going to get it back together at some point, but this is what is good with the Flames. Like last year, yes, there was some pressure on the Flames. There's been pressure on the Flames for a few years now, and just kind of that nasty dark cloud hanging over them when all the stars left, Tkachuk, Gaudreau, and other players just kind of didn't want to be with Calgary. That's not the case. Like, those guys are all pretty well gone now, and everyone that's with the Flames is a Flame. Like, they want to be here, they're committed, and it really shows, man. Like, when you don't have the pressure, expectations aren't very high, and the guys are just going out there playing hockey, and they're winning games right now. So I am immensely impressed and happy with the way that the Flames are picking up the wins right now. Like I said, it's not perfect hockey. It's the early parts of the season, but who knows, man? The Flames could fuck around with a good start like this. They could fuck around and get into a wild card position. This is a great start for Calgary, so I'm very encouraged with the team so far. Like, I really can't ask for a lot more right now. So, yeah, very happy with the Flames, obviously, but let's talk about some teams that maybe aren't off to a hot start. So let's take a look at the standings. The homie Kyle sent me an interesting picture the other day. Looking at the bottom four teams in the Western Conference right now are all teams that people may have some Stanley Cup aspirations for. In 16th place in the West is your Colorado Avalanche. Let's take a moment with the Colorado Avalanche. What the fuck is going on over there? Well, what the fuck is going on over there is they can't stop a puck. Georgiev can't stop a puck right now. There is a goalie problem in Colorado. We're 3 games in. It's closer to panic button than other teams, I would think, because this goaltending situation looks not good. Georgiev allowing, I don't remember how many goals he let in, but regardless, he got yanked in both of his starts so far. So pulled into back-to-back starts, not good. Annunen goes in there, doesn't look a whole lot better. So they claim, I think it's Kakkonen off of waivers. They got him, so you could be, watch out for Kakkonen on your fantasy waiver wires or free agency, anything like that, because that guy could possibly just steal the starting role in Colorado. If he comes in, wins his first game, if he gets in there, who knows? He might just run with that and Bob's your uncle. Now, what the hell is going to go on with Georgiev? I mean, really rough start. Georgiev was a all-star, I believe, last year. He had a good start and then really kind of fell off. And, yeah, not encouraging so far for the Colorado Avalanche. And they just don't look all that good. Like, yeah, man, it's just not a really good start at all here for the Colorado Avalanche. You can see the upset. You can already see it in McKinnon. He is very not impressed with that. I think he took a 10-minute game misconduct or something in their first game as well. So early frustrations for the Colorado Avalanche. We'll keep an eye on that and see if that spirals out. Now, obviously, it's a goaltending issue that is severely a problem right now. They're scoring goals. I mean, they have been able to put goals in the net, but they're allowing like 8 goals per game. So that's something they got to figure that one out, figure it out real fast, because they got to get back on track, man. Other teams are starting to leave them in the dust. You don't want to have a bad start, but with a team like Colorado, all that skill on their forward line, their blue line is still good. They got to get it back together. They should be able to get it back on track. I'm not going to hit the panic button just yet on the Colorado Avalanche, but that goaltending situation looks really rough. And then you got the Nashville Predators, a favorite coming into the season with all their big additions. Brady Shea, Stamkos, planning the parade already. Get it going, Nashville. And they're 0-3. No wins yet for the Nashville Predators in their hot new team. And hey, not necessarily expected, but definitely something that happens, man. When you have a whole bunch of new players coming in, it's going to take them a minute to get acclimated. Like, think about it. Stamkos has been a lifelong Tampa Bay Lightning, and he's getting uprooted from that fucking system that he's been a part of for over a decade. So things are going to change for Stamkos. It's going to take him a while to get comfortable. It's going to take Brady Shea a little while to get comfortable. It's going to take Marchessault a little bit of time to get comfortable. How much time? Let's hope it's not Huberdeau levels of time where it takes 2 years for them to finally get back to the way that they played with their prior team. But with Nashville, again, not going to hit the panic button just yet with Nashville. There's a lot of new people there. I mean, they haven't looked very good, I will say. Now, I'm not saying I don't get to watch every single game of every single team. I watch highlights when I can. And, so far, not very impressed. I mean, Stamkos missing a wide open net. So, that's probably just some early new team, new area jitters. He'll get more comfortable, Stamkos. Man, definitely not the start that Nashville wanted. Again, don't think I'd be hitting the panic button just yet. You look at that roster, really strong team. It's just a lot of new guys there, new system. They just got to get used to things. So, again, not hitting the panic button with Nashville, but not a great start for Nashville. And then we get to Vancouver, man. Like, hold on, we're not even at Vancouver yet. My bad. Edmonton, back down at the bottom again to start the season. I mean, they're not in last place, but they're back down there. And, oh, man, there was one meme that I saw that was very funny. They have the picture of the guy that's behind the tree, and he's like licking his lips and rubbing his palms together, just hungry, waiting for it. And it's like Connor McDavid's high school coach waiting for Knobloch to get fired. It's like, so now we're going to have the high school coach coming in again. So really rough start for Edmonton. The Stars aren't scoring. I mean, McDavid off to a slow start. Draisaitl off to a slow start, and I will take blame for the Draisaitl thing. I drafted him, so it's my fault. Draisaitl's probably going to have a career worst season, and it's all my fault. I'm sorry. He had a good game the other night. They finally did get a win, barely, over... Who the fuck did they beat? Columbus or something? Anyway, they get a win, so we don't have to hit the panic button now anyway with them. So they got the win, got that out of the way. We could forget about the other 3 games where, like Jeff Skinner looked bad. All right, is that his name? No, not Jeff Skinner. Jeff Skinner's been pretty good. I think he got promoted up to the first line. So Jeff Skinner's been solid. Arvidsson's a little quiet, but defensively, man, they look pretty bad. And, missing Broberg now on the blue line looks even worse. Like, that's a guy that they probably could have really used this season, but at that price point, they couldn't fucking get it done. Yeah, man, it's not awesome. Stuart Skinner, there we go. He's, this is kind of expected. He's been kind of a hot and cold goalie for as long as I can tell. Like, he's not been the most consistent guy, so I'd imagine a shaky start. He'll kind of get it going a little bit. Calvin Pickard went in. He got lit up. I picked him up. Got negative points out of Calvin Pickard, so that didn't help out. They're going to get it back together, man. I think they just need to readjust a little bit. I think they may still be in playoff mode just a little bit, and it's different hockey. They need to just kind of get back to basics, get back to the regular way that they play, start lighting it up on the PP, and they got to figure out that defense, though. That right side looks weak. Man, there's definitely been some defensive gaffes from the Edmonton Oilers that don't look very good at all, so I would imagine at some point Edmonton will be looking for a blue liner to add to that squad. They even look like they're kind of missing Desharnais, who everyone was kind of shitting on, but I think some Edmonton fans might be like, you know what? might not be the worst thing. And they lost Cody Ceci. Oh my God. Yeah, I almost died. Almost died saying Cody Ceci's name. So, and Cody Ceci's not been bad over there in San Jose. He's been all right. So, I don't know, man. There has been, like, that was what I was worried about with Edmonton a little bit. They sacrificed some defense. They did add in forwards, but they're lacking on defense, and Stuart Skinner isn't necessarily an elite goaltender. I can't call him an elite goaltender. Like, he has elite weeks, but he also has, like, almost unplayable weeks as well. So, we'll see. Edmonton is on the rise now. They have their first win, so that's encouraging. Hopefully they can continue that. Don't get back into a lose. Get those wins. Get out of the funk and continue on. And then we get the other Canadian Western team. We got the Vancouver Canucks, not off to a great start either. They are 0-1-2 to start the season, and their first 3 games still don't have a win. And I'm seeing things with Elias Pettersson not looking very good at the beginning of the season right here. But I think most glaring right now with the Canucks is the goaltending looks a little bit. I picked up Shilov's, and I must say he was not good in either of the games that he was in. Got lit up in the first game, did not play well in the last game, and whoever their other goalie is right now, is it Casey DeSmith? Something like that. Anyway, he didn't win either, and yeah, man, the big guys aren't really going just yet. Connor Garland's looked pretty decent, and Jake DeBrusk actually looks like he is a solid addition so far, early running with the Vancouver Canucks. We'll see. He's a very hot and cold player from what I've seen out of Jake DeBrusk. But so far, a decent start for him. But definitely an issue here with the goaltending. And will there be a rush now to get Demko back in the net? If their 2 goalies can't pick up any wins, it's not going to look good. And I do believe they lost Kakkonen. I think he left to Colorado. I don't. There's been so much waiver shit. One guy, he got like waived and claimed and re-waived and claimed again. I forget whoever that was, but Jesus, that kind of shit is going on. So yeah, my apologies. I can't stay on top of the waiver wire news. There's just been so freaking much of it. But right now, Vancouver allowing 4 goals per game. Not gonna have a lot of success doing that. They're struggling to score goals, which was a little bit of a concern for me coming into this season, because when you look at the stats of the players last year, it did kind of look like everybody kind of produced higher than what you would expect them to, and maybe this team is coming back down to earth a little bit in terms of everyone kind of putting in, like Höglander at 24 goals. I think Dakota Joshua had like 17 or 18 plus goals. So, yeah, it hasn't been a good start either with the Vancouver Canucks, and it would, depending on the news of Demko, like I heard he's skating, and he could be, it seemed more encouraging than the last time I heard, but, yeah, if they don't get Demko back sooner rather than later, there may be a panic button hitting in Vancouver. I imagine they're already getting very antsy. Like, this is a team that has struggled to maintain success year after year. They kind of have done like, oh, we're in the playoffs. Oh, now we kind of suck. Oh, we're back. And, so not fun. That's definitely not a fun kind of thing to deal with as a fan, this up and down situation. But, yeah, man, they got to get scoring. They got to, the usual shit. They got to score more and allow less goals. And that may be difficult if they have goalies that can't stop the puck, which is a problem for Vancouver right now. So, I mean, the Sharks are down there, the Ducks are down there, the Blackhawks are down there as well. As expected, I mean, Connor Bedard has looked good. Chicago's looked better. They definitely look like a better team this season than they were last year, but I don't think they're in any position to make it into the playoffs. And the Ducks, just, I don't know what it is about the Ducks, but every year they start out hot, especially with goaltending. I swear that they always start with a shutout. Like, I tell people, I'm like, yo, draft John Gibson and hold on to him for like the first few weeks because he is dynamite. And then he runs out of gas really early and then get rid of him. But Dostal now this year starts off with the fucking shutout. So, hell yeah. Good stuff there for Dostal. Really good start. Back to the top now. So we have the Stars. They're 4-0, looking great. I think they already have like 2 or 3 freaking shutouts under their belt. So looking very good outside of maybe a slow start for Jason Robertson. Again, I drafted him, so probably my fault. And I saw a thing the other day. I I think the players voted. Anyway, there was a vote on the most overrated player in the NHL, and Jason Robertson was the winner of that. And pretty interesting. I mean, I really hope he can get back to that 100-point player. That would be nice. But I don't know. The highlights that I'm looking at Dallas, like, he just doesn't look all that engaged to me. I don't know. Dallas fans, if you're listening, what are you thinking about Jason Robertson right now? I don't know. He just doesn't look all that engaged to me. The Jets are off to a great start. I know a lot of people are on the fence about the Jets. They feel like they were fighting above their weight class last season. You know, Hellebuck carrying a lot of the load. Hellebuck off to a fucking awesome start as well. He starts with a shutout, and that's fantastic. So Jets are rolling. Kyle Connor, got to shout out that guy. 7 straight years of scoring a goal in the opener. That's incredible. Kyle Connor, one of my favorite players in the NHL. I love that guy. Vegas off to a strong start. Utah is off to a hot start, baby. They finally lost a game. That's okay. They lost to New Jersey, who is, I believe, first place in the NHL right now. So, hey, Utah's off to a fucking good start, man. I'm very happy. It looks like Mikhail Sergachev is looking real good for them right now on their blue line. There were some concerns there, you know, after a broken leg and surgery. Would Sergachev be the same player? So far, so freaking good. Barrett Hayton looks good. Keller is killing it. This could be his 100-point season. It always looked like it was in the books for him. Only a matter of time. So that top line looks like they have recombined themselves, and it looks like it's working again. That Keller, Hayden, and Schmaltz line, it was one of the best lines in the NHL a couple of seasons ago. Last year, Barrett Hayton had a injury-riddled season. This guy is a former 5th overall pick. So there's some talent there. Maybe a little bit of a late bloomer, but shit, man. He looks really good so far. Utah's looking good, man. I don't know if they keep it going, but if they can keep this hot momentum, hot start, hot opening with a new fucking fan base, they can ride a hot start into maybe a wild card spot. I would love it. I would feel shitty for Coyotes fans just because, like, see, we knew we had a decent team. We just had terrible management. And the best thing about Utah is that they have assets to play with. A fuckload of assets. They could add the biggest fish, whoever's out there. They can add a Rasmus Anderson. If he's available, they have the assets to get that. They have numerous draft picks. They have numerous fucking prospects. They have a lot of things to work with, and they have cap space. So watch out for Utah, man. If they continue to win, there could be a big move incoming for Utah. You could maybe see a Rasmus Anderson get added, or a big forward. If a big forward comes up, maybe if Trevor Zegras is just like, oh, we're actually going to trade him this time, which apparently that's kind of cooled off now. Let's talk about Trevor Zegras for just a moment. So Trevor Zegras, throughout, I don't know, the last year and a half or so, there's been rumors on him getting traded, especially to the Montreal Canadiens. Now that seems to have cooled off. And it seems like maybe it's cooled off a little bit that Anaheim wants to trade Trevor Zegras. Basically, they've challenged him. They're like, hey, we know you got all the skill in the world, kiddo. That's fucking great. But we need you to be a two-way guy. We can't just have you dogging it on defense. Like, if you want to stay here, you got to learn how to play both ways. And they even had him out there for I think it was the empty net situation, or a situation where they normally would not have Zegras out there. They wouldn't trust him with those defensive responsibilities, and he actually went out there. It was when the net was empty and the other team was trying to tie the game up. He was out there and he scored the empty net goal. So that's an encouraging start for Trevor Zegras, who's been definitely down over the last year and a half or so. So hopefully we can see a two-way advancement in his game, gets a little bit more responsible on both sides of the ice. Now, I'm not expecting this guy to go to fucking Selke level, but at least, you know, not a liability, which he kind of has been for the Anaheim Ducks. There's a reason why they want to trade this guy. We all know he's skilled, but there's definitely a defensive deficiency, and if you want to be a successful team, especially in this NHL, you can't have guys like that. Like, let's just talk about Daniel Sprong. He is a pure offensive guy, hence why he doesn't really make a lot of money, but he scores everywhere he goes. And also Daniel Sprong, he has scored in his first game for 4 or 5 different teams, which is insane. In his first appearance, he scores a goal. So he did it with Vancouver, Detroit, Utah, I think. So I'm a fan of Daniel Sprong, even though everyone just shits on that guy. All he does is produce. So, like, he shuts everybody up. So I have nothing bad to say about Daniel Sprong other than, like, yeah, he's not necessarily defensively responsible, but that motherfucker could put the puck in the net, and that is valuable. But as you can see in this NHL, he doesn't make that much money, so not that valuable. All right, where the hell was I? And then there's all the teams kind of in the middle: the Wild, the Kings, the Blues, the Kraken, and so on and so forth. They're all like 2-2. Kings are 1-2. Wild are 2-0-2. So, oh my goodness, let's talk about the Wild. Philip Gustafsson, everybody. Philip Gustafsson scores a goalie goal the other day, and it was a nice one. It was a very nice one. It was a slap shot taken on him. He fucking grabs that, throws it down, whips the puck up in the air, and he nailed that empty net, baby. So that is an incredibly impressive thing. And LA, they did try to stop it. They had their sticks up in the air to try to whack it out of midair. They both missed. And yeah, baby, so Philip Gustafsson with the very rare goalie goal, that was awesome. And a great celebration. I love how crazy the team went for Philip Gustafsson celebrating that goal. So that was really cool. That's a fun thing for the Wild. So far, they've been kind of the Wild. Kaprizov's doing ridiculous shit. He scored or made a very beautiful play the other day for a nice goal from Marco Rossi, I believe. He just flew in there. Beautiful pass across and just, unbelievable. So, yeah, Kaprizov looking like he's going to have another MVP level season for the Wild. Absolutely. And let's go over now to the East. Who's at the bottom? Sadly, it's the Sabres and the Red Wings, y'all. That is not awesome. So, Sabres, oh boy. Yeah, you know what? I didn't really have a lot of encouragement with this team coming in. Blue line's still very young, goaltending kind of risky, and yeah, their offense just isn't clicking. They're not scoring goals right now. They're not winning. It's just not a good start at all for the Buffalo Sabres that are desperate to have a good start. And actually, honestly, it's not even really their goaltending that's been a problem. It's the fact they can't score on the power play. They can't score. They are very much so struggling to score goals. Tage Thompson has a couple, but I mean, the guys aren't scoring. I think it was Cousins has like 700 shots already. I don't think he scored a goal yet. Not looking good, man. Really bad start for the Buffalo Sabres. 1-3-0. And in the Atlantic, man, I don't know if you're going to be able to pull yourself out. It may already be a toss-away season for the Buffalo Sabres. I think the panic button's been pressed for like 8 years ago with Buffalo, and it hasn't stopped ringing ever since. But yeah, man, not good for the Buffalo Sabres. Looks like probably going to miss the playoffs yet again. Like I just, the guys aren't scoring, the big guys. It's not good, man. Really not good start. Red Wings as well. Like not a hot start for them. Ville Husso was put on waivers, and I believe he's cleared. So yikes. And that's bad, man. They're not scoring. They're allowing a lot of goals. Their power play sucks. So, yeah, man, not a good start either for the Red Wings. At least Cam Talbot has looked good in net for the Detroit Red Wings. I think he's only played the one game, but he was awesome. So, looks like Cam Talbot will be the starter for Detroit. I don't know what is going to happen with Ville Husso. He's just going to, I guess, go down to the minors because I don't believe anyone claimed him with that cap hit. And that sucks, man. Like, he looked like such a good goalie in St. Louis, stole the job away from Binnington, then he got to the playoffs and re-lost his job back to Binnington. And then, yeah, man, he goes to Detroit and has really never found his way in Detroit. Has never really been the goalie he was in St. Louis for the Red Wings, which sucks. And also kind of maybe a bullet dodged, because I remember the Leafs were very interested in him. I was very interested in Ville Husso, and yeah, just another one of those goalies, man. Like, they look good one year, and then the next thing you know, they're fucking getting waived, and they're down in the minors again. So, yeah, not an encouraging start for the Red Wings either. I don't think, like, it's not bad enough of a start. Like, they're 1-2. It's not the worst thing. They can get out of it still. It's definitely not... they're not in Buffalo levels. I mean, they are one loss away from being to Buffalo levels, but I'm not going to hit the panic button just yet with Detroit. let's talk about Boston. So Boston so far looks, from what I heard from the Spit and Chicklets podcast, they say they look slow. Really, really slow, which is, okay, all right. Swayman and, who's the other goalie? Corpusalo got lit up in their first game. That made me happy. That was a fun first game there for the league. Florida versus Boston. There's a good rivalry built in right there with Florida-Boston. Very heavily favored on the Florida side nowadays, which is great. I love that. I love watching Boston get beaten up by other teams. I had a good time watching the highlights and some of that game. I got to watch some of it. But I wasn't really watching the Bruins. I did hear that Elias Lindholm looks good so far with the Bruins. That's good. And then there's Brad Marchand. A little bit worried about him. He did have multiple surgeries this offseason, and he is not looking good out there. Now, again, they said like it may take him a while, like 10 to 15 games before he can get his legs underneath him after all the surgery. So it could just be a slow start for Marchand, but you look at his stats from last year. Yes, he was playing hurt, but it looks like the decline has begun with Brad Marchand. He's like 36, 37 years old. So yeah, it happens. Not everybody's Anze Kopitar. We'll talk about him right now because he got a fucking hat trick in his first game. So Anze Kopitar, the ageless wonder, continues to be unreal. But Brad Marchand, this could be bad, man, for Brad Marchand. This could be a steep decline for him. He's had hard miles on him, man. He is not he's a physical player. He gets into the muck. He had lots of deep playoff runs, and he's had lots of injuries now, and he's had surgeries. So maybe Brad Marchand will never become the player that he was a few years ago, but he's Brad Marchand, so he's always going to yuck it up. He's going to get in people's faces, but it won't be as effective is if he's not putting in goals on top of that, right? So if he not scoring, you're not putting up points, your shit talk doesn't really stick as much as it used to. So we'll keep an eye on Brad Marchand and the Bruins, but not the best start for them either, and it may take Swayman a moment to get going with him as well. But yeah, man, who knows? Maybe Boston does fall out because of teams like Montreal. Pretty fucking good start, man, for Montreal. I am super, like right now in one of my fantasy leagues, I basically have the Montreal blue line as my blue line. I got Caden Gooley, I got Lane Hudson, I got Mike Matheson. So everyone is talking up Lane Hudson like a crazy right now, and this kid is very good. He looks so good right now. The head fakes, like he is definitely that new style of defenseman, just super skilled, faking the shit out of people, amazing passes, and he's not even on the top PP just yet. So there could be a battle for it. A lot of people saying that, Lane Hudson's taken over top PP by what do you call it? Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving. He'll be on that top power play in no time. But hey, fucking Matheson had 60 plus points last year. He ain't no slouch. But yeah, this Lane Hudson kid looks legit and looks like he could potentially take the Calder this season. Macklin Celebrini is sadly on injured reserve. I didn't see how long or what necessarily happened to him. I saw his first goal. Got his first goal. It's not the most beautiful goal. He went to make a sick pass, and it bumped off of the guy and went in the net. There you go. First goal, you got it over with. But Macklin Celebrini on IR, that fucking sucks. And you can tell how much of an impact Macklin Celebrini has already had with the Sharks. They had like 17,000 fans in their opening game. So people are excited about this player, and we should be. We should be, because they're saying he is maybe the top prospect to come into the league after Connor Bedard, of course, to Austin Matthews. So he's getting some comparisons there. Great shot, wicked passer as well. And yeah, obviously an encouraging future for the San Jose Sharks. They had the really cool the rookie skate, but they had Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini, so it wasn't like super awkward. They had the helmets off, the hair was flowing, looking good. So yeah, that was cool for the San Jose Sharks, but not cool that Macklin Celebrini is on IR, which might hurt his Calder chances if he's missing an extended amount of time. And people are saying if Lane Hudson gets onto that top power play, it's almost a lock that he is going to get the Calder, because he's just going to rack up power play points like crazy. So that's encouraging. These kids look really good on Montreal. Caden Gooley's going. Fucking Montembeault has been outstanding. I mean, he shut out my Leafs in the home opener. But hey, that just might win a Stanley Cup for the Toronto Maple Leafs. You want to know why? Because the Leafs haven't been shut out in a home in the first game of a season since 1967. Do you remember what happened for Toronto in 1967? They won the fucking cup. They won the cup, so Montembeault has just solidified the Toronto Maple Leafs will win the 2024-2025 Stanley Cup because they got shut out in their first game. And I think I'm kind of done with Montreal. Quickly, Cole Caulfield, amazing. Slafkovsky looks really good. That top line looks really good. It sucks that Laine's not there right now because, oh man, their team would look, actually, their top six would look damn fine if they had Patrick Laine in there as well, but pretty decent start for the Montreal Canadiens. They're hopping over Buffalo. They're hopping over Detroit, which I kind of thought would be in the cards, honestly. I'm looking at Montreal. I'm like, they kind of look a little bit better. So it could be Montreal's time to jump over these teams. Like, yo, this is our turn now. You guys had your chances. You couldn't fucking make it. Now we're going. It's Lane Hudson time, baby. And Montembeault looking really good so far. So, hey, decent, goodish start for the Montreal Canadiens. They're 2-2, but yeah. All right, we got to talk about Toronto. Let's get to Toronto. So, opening game, they get shut out. Not awesome. And their power play looks fucking terrible. My goodness, their power play looks bad. Again, this is a different looking team. I will say that right out of the gate. This is not the Sheldon Keefe, Kyle Dubas Toronto Maple Leafs. This is the Berube Leafs. Different looking team. A little bit slow, a little bit not as entertaining. I won't call it boring, but they're not as entertaining to watch. And their best line through the first 4 games has been the fourth line. Not even close. Their fourth line has been the most noticeable game to game. Whether Ryan Reeves is on it, Steven Lorentz, it's been their best line. Like game to game, shift to shift, they've been effective, getting scoring chances, hemming in the teams. I'm very impressed with the way that the fourth line has been playing. And that's great because the fourth line has been an issue for the Leafs for a few years. They have not been able to figure out that fourth line and get it rolling. Now they're starting to get scoring chances. They're getting offensive zone time. Perfect. That's exactly what you want out of your fourth line. Bring the energy, bring a scoring chance, get a goal every now and again. I'm very impressed with the fourth line. And then the rest of the team. Offensively, I mean, we know Austin Matthews, no points yet. Got my hand up right now. That's my fault. I drafted him. So Matthews is going to score 3 goals this year and probably 8 assists total in fucking 10 games. He's going to get mega injured. That's all my fault. I didn't want to pick him, but I was like, you know what? I haven't drafted a single Leaf. In 2 full drafts, not a single Leaf was on my team. Like, Austin Matthews is here. I'm taking him. And I did. And yeah, not a great start, but it doesn't mean he's playing bad. He's playing good. He's getting chances, but what I've noticed with Matthews is like, yo, I think this guy wants to Selke this year. Playing much better defensively. And yeah, people saying that the C on his sweater is weighing him down. It's putting extra pressure on Matthews. I think it's given him more determination to play both sides of the puck. I think he wants to prove and really show I am an elite defensive center. I'm not just a goal scorer. He was a finalist for the Selke last year. So, and not a lot of people talk about that. Like, he was a finalist, one of the top 3 players, top 3 forwards in the league at defense. So that's something, and I don't think he feels like he got enough respect on that. Like, everyone's just like, oh, Barkov. Oh, Mark Stone. Oh, Matthews, what? No, Toronto guys don't play defense. Matthews is pretty fucking good at it, man. Not the start that I wanted. I would have loved for him to score 30 goals by now. Like, wouldn't we all? But it is what it is. And then we're looking at William Nylander. I am very concerned right there. I'm already seeing attitude. I'm seeing laziness. I'm seeing some bullshit right here out of fucking William Nylander. And I warned y'all. I was getting the gloves are off now. You're making big boy money and you're fucking firing pucks down the end of the ice, being a baby about it. Like, what the fuck is that shit? Not impressed with William Nylander's attitude right there. should have gotten a lot of penalties, and penalties have been a major issue with this team early on, taking a fuckload of bad penalties. Their penalty kill is and their power play is so bad. So bad right now. Like I said, it's literally a whole new bench. We got new coach, new power play, new penalty kill, new everything. So it's going to take a minute for them to figure it out. And you can notice it. There are times they look completely fucking lost out there. Like, what the hell are we doing? And thankfully, Anthony Stolarz is back there, and the Hildebeest playing great. So Anthony Stolarz, I was telling y'all, watch out for this guy. He's maybe one of the most underrated players in the whole entire league. This guy's been nothing but spectacular. He took a nice deal with the Leafs. He's like, yo, I'm going to prove myself on one of the biggest stages in the NHL, and that's exactly what he's doing so far. Playing great. Nice and calm. Love the way that he's been playing in the net. And the Leafs also have the biggest tandem ever. What? Stolarz is 6'6". Fucking Hildebeest 6'7", and boy, how did they ever look massive. They look so big in the net, bro. It's unreal. And Hildebeest looked awesome in his first game. I'm not even worried about Joseph Woll right now. I'm not even worried. If Stolarz got lit up in the first game and Hildebeest went in and lost and got lit up, I'd be extremely worried. But I wasn't even worried when they said Joseph Woll he's dealing with lower body stiffness. I'm like, here we go. Here we fucking go. It's going to be Joseph Woll. He's going to be fucking 7 appearances this year. And it's a huge risk. That was the big fucking red flag over Joseph Woll, is that this guy gets injured all the time. All the time. And when you're a goalie and you get injured that much, it makes me think of guys like Pascal Leclerc. Makes me think of guys like Rick DiPietro, the glass goalie, man. Like, I don't want that to be Joseph Woll's fucking modus operandi, is that this guy just comes in, plays great for 7 seconds, and then rips his groin, and he's gone for 7 months. Don't want that to be the case. I want Joseph Woll to be in there, being the top goalie. But thankfully, they covered their ass, and they got Stolarz, and he's in there looking really good. I am not worried about Anthony Stolarz or the Hildebeest tandem. So far, so good. They both look calm. They cover the net awesomely because they're so fucking big. I'm good. I'm good right there with that tandem. I know a lot of people were very, very nervous. I felt confident going in with it, honestly. Mostly because of Stolarz. If they didn't have Stolarz, I would have been super nervous. Super duper nervous. Because you got an unproven Hildebeest, and then you got Joseph Woll, who's also unproven. So we'll see what happens. I've even heard some scouts saying that Hildebeest is the best prospect in the Leafs pool right now. And that's encouraging. We've always wanted a goalie to finally emerge in Toronto, and there's a possibility we have 2 right here in Joseph Woll and Hildebeest. That would be amazing. Please don't trade them to Boston, because that always happens. Oh, we got a good goalie prospect. Send them to Boston. Go ahead. Have them. Unfucking real. All right, so the Leafs, not a great start in that first game, but so far I'm definitely noticing they're trying to fix the things that have been their woes. Scoring in different places. You're getting goals all over the place. William Nylander scored. Marner scored. Not Austin Matthews. He hasn't scored yet. The Stars are scoring, except for Austin. But so are the other guys. Steven Lorentz is scoring. That fourth line's potting in goals, man. So that bottom 6 is chipping in. And that's what they need, man. What has been a huge deficit for the Leafs in the playoffs, the big boys go away and no one else can score. So if they can start scoring by committee, that's great. Let's talk defense. Yo, OEL, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, looking great so far. Every time he's on the ice, I am noticing him. He is jumping in. He's making good plays, nice passes, a bomb of a shot. Morgan Rielly might be in trouble, y'all. They may test him out on that top power play, and it might be good. It might be better than Morgan Rielly. Who knows? Remember, OEL was in Arizona. He was the top power play guy. He was the top offensive defenseman over there. He was getting like 60 points, 50, 60 points. He was great. So he has that in him. He's got a big shot, something that Morgan Rielly does not have. Morgan Rielly doesn't have a big power shot. He's got a floater of a wrist shot that he can get on net, but it's not OEL's carnage slap shot, make fucking crazy rebounds and shit like that. So that's something I've always wanted the Leafs to have. And it looks like they've been getting towards the front of the net a little bit more. Definitely haven't been playing that fucking possession game where it's just like holding the puck but not doing anything with it. They're doing a little bit more with the puck now. They're much more responsible defensively, I've noticed. They're not making as many mistakes. Now, there will still be mistakes early in the season. That's okay. They'll try and iron that out. But so far, the blue line, I'm pretty encouraged, man. Tanev has been a godsend for this team. I haven't noticed him once, which is a beautiful thing. I haven't noticed him making a mistake. That's exactly what I want out of my stay-home defensive defenseman. I don't want to notice you. Nothing should be going on when you're out there. Nothing bad. No mistakes. No fucking odd man rushes. Like, that shit is not happening right now with Tanev back there, and I'm loving every minute of it. So, really good. Really, really good start for these new defensemen. Connor Timmins hasn't been that bad. Like I said, man, like I've always kind of liked Connor Timmins. I know Steve Dangle and all them, they shit all over that guy, but pretty good so far, man. Pretty all right. All right, so, well, they definitely need to work on that power play. That is most certainly for sure. They won their first game against New Jersey, which is good. What isn't good is that Sportsnet is still blacking me out, and I only got to watch a little bit of that New Jersey game, but I did get to see Sheldon Keefe have a fucking meltdown on his team. Can you imagine how pissed he was? Like, okay, let me just say something. The Leafs held a lead like 2 times already this year. Do you know how fucking rare that is? I think I can count on one hand the amount of times I've seen the Leafs successfully hold on to a lead without allowing a goal, and they've done it like twice already this year, and I'm like, what the fuck is this team right now? I'm so like, what? Can I actually be confident and not be sweating and nervous when the Leafs have a lead, because it's inevitable they're going to blow it and have to do something crazy to maintain that win or something? Maybe not so much this season. We'll see, but I saw the fucking steam pouring off of Sheldon Keefe. Like, why the fuck are you guys doing this to me right now? You never once held the lead for my ass, and now you're fucking shutting down my team and locking us down. Like, oh my goodness. So that is awesome. They also beat Kyle Dubas's Pittsburgh Penguins, and there were 2 potential milestones on the board for Penguins, Sidney Crosby and Malkin, and only one of them got it. Only Malkin. He got his, 1300th point in his career against the Leafs. Crosby was there. I think it was like his, I don't remember. I think it was his goal, rather a goal or points, but he was there for the milestone too, and only one of them got it. I couldn't believe it. In any other scenario, both of those guys would have gotten those milestones within the first 5 minutes of the game, and Bob's your uncle. But yeah, not so much. So some of these trends, the Leafs might be kind of bucking some of these trends, which is great. If they can buck the trend of never being able to hold on to a lead, buck the trend of, I don't know, just making tons of stupid defensive gaffes and just neutral zone giveaways, offensive zone giveaways, defensive zone giveaways, lots of giveaways, stupid giveaways. Less of that, and yeah, man, just a better defensive Leafs. I am definitely noticing that. It's not as exciting to watch as other Leafs, but at this point, I don't give a shit. Start getting those playoff trends ready. Start playing some playoff hockey. It's the same thing that Keefe said 2-3 years ago. He's like, we got to start scoring playoff-style goals, and that's kind of what they're doing right now. They're trying that out. They're working on it, and I'm impressed. Max Domi's looked really good. Matthew Nyes is looking pretty good there on that top line. I still think that Domi should be with Matthews. We'll see if that does become the case. And I haven't really seen the chemistry so far with Matthews-Marner, not the way that they've had it before. Could that get switched up? They put Matthews back with Willie and Marner back down with Tavares. We'll see what happens with that. It's very clear that the center situation with William Nylander is not going to happen. And that kind of sucks because he makes money. He makes too much money. So does Marner. And it is what it is. So we're just going to have to deal with that. And I'm pretty encouraged by the Leafs so far. A good start. They got a game tonight against... The fuck are they playing today? They got the LA Kings, and Big Save David will be in net. So, all right, we'll see what happens with that one. Should be a fun game. Starts at 7:30 also, you know. Oh, yeah, we got to wait another half hour to watch go. That sucks. I hate that. I hate when they do that to us, but it is what it is. All right, so let's try and touch on all of this crazy news that has been going on. I'm definitely going to miss something, but there's a lot of stuff. So let's start off. I got to go back to Utah and talk about Dylan Guenther. Oh my God, what a start for this guy. That contract is already looking so good. He's got 5 goals in his first 3 games, and that looks awesome, man. That $8 million, 7 or 8 year extension, already off to a bang right there, and his shot looks outstanding. I think it was Connor Bedard that said, I think he has a top 3 shot in the NHL, and he is showing it off. So a fantastic start for Dylan. Wait, is it Dylan Guenther? I don't know. Guenther. He is off to a great start. Ovechkin, you know that guy, you might have heard about him. He's off to a good start with assists. He has not scored a goal yet, but he is getting a bunch of assists. He has now racked up 700 assists in his career. So congratulations to Ovechkin. I mean, he hasn't scored any goals yet, so, but he's putting up points. That's good. We got to get those goals going, though, Ovi. Once he gets his first one, tends to open up the floodgates just a little bit. Dubois hasn't really looked all that great over there just yet. I think Logan Thompson started his first game in net for the Capitals, looked pretty good. That will definitely be a battle throughout this season. Will be Charlie Lindgren versus Thompson in net. I really hope, Lindgren gets it because I've drafted him in a couple of leagues, and I'm kind of hoping that, I don't think he'll replicate what he did last year, but if he gets close, that would be sweet. That would be really sweet. What also is really sweet, in Seattle, Jordan Eberle has been named the captain, which is really cool. He takes over for Mark Giordano, who was their captain. So they've been captainless for a couple of seasons. Jordan Eberle makes sense, man. He's been a really good player for them. Just keeps battling. He's got a really good NHL story where he was a top pick. Well, a first-round pick, and he kind of lost his way a little bit, but made it back. Not quite to the Sam Gagner levels, but still. Jordan Eberle, great guy. All right. We got bad news in Florida. Alexander Barkov, Sasha Barkov, is out week to week. And when it's week to week, you're looking at a minimum of 2 weeks. More than likely will be a month that they're going to be missing Sasha Barkov, which obviously is bad for the Florida Panthers. That's their guy. That's the main guy, baby. And they also didn't have Tkachuk in the lineup. He was out due to illness. So he should be back, if not already back in the lineup. But yeah, man, that's definitely going to take a bite out of the Panthers, not having Barkov in the lineup. We know how great of a two-way player he is. So yeah, that's going to be a bite. We'll see if guys like, was it Lundell, Luosterainen, maybe one of those two guys could step up in his absence and be really good. So that is something to watch. Spencer Knight got into a game. I can't remember if he won or lost, but I'm just happy to see him back in the net in the NHL. So that's great news. And also, let's talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets Johnny Gaudreau tribute, which was immensely sad and beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Starting the games, doing the puck drop with Johnny Gaudreau's left wing spot open. They let 13 seconds run off the clock and a massive ovation. Giving me chills right now. I can already feel the emotion. I watched the tribute videos. They were so sad, so incredibly sad. Watching Johnny, having his baby girl and getting married and all these things that he was just getting started with. Like, oh my God, I'm still immensely devastated, as I imagine everybody is, that we don't have Johnny Hockey in the NHL anymore. A beautiful tribute from numerous teams across the league. I know the Flames did stuff. I didn't get to see everybody's, but I saw the Columbus Blue Jackets one, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Everybody clapping, like referees clapping, every single player clapping, fans crying. Like it was a very sad, emotional situation. And yeah, man, it's gonna take a long time if we ever get over the fact that we just lost Johnny Hockey in hockey. I mean, it seems wrong, and it is wrong, absolutely. But man, that's a really tough pill to swallow. But what a beautiful tribute for Johnny Gaudreau. I'm very, very happy that they did that. They raised a whole bunch of money for the family and everything, so that's really awesome. Oh, Johnny, we miss you so much. who also is being missed is Shesterkin's contract money. Where's that money at? Well, apparently it's being rejected. Shesterkin apparently rejecting a $11 million per season for 8 years. $88 million rejected. And Shesterkin and his agent not happy that this is being known, that you're rejecting that amount of money. And again, I think 12 million is the number that he wants. It's probably the number he's going to end up getting, if not 11.5, 11.75. It's going to be there. But if the Rangers are already willing to pay 11, what's 12? What's another $1 million? So just give it to him. Get it done. Again, I don't think it's not going to lead the Rangers to success. I don't think having a goalie make that much money will get the Rangers to a Stanley Cup. On top of that, they got Alex Lafreniere that they got to talk about and get his extension done, and he's looked excellent as well. And some people thinking like, all right, he could get a contract similar to Dylan Guenther at 8x8. Some people thinking he deserves more than that. I mean, he's got a case. He's played more games. He's got more of a track record, and he looks like he's just getting better and better. And he's really looking like he is figuring it out. This could be the big breakout year for Lafreniere. And yeah, man, so the future is still up in the air for the New York Rangers. I don't know how much money it's going to take for these guys, but yeah, man, if I were them, I'd probably want to lock up Lafreniere if you could, because it really looks like rather sooner rather than later. Like if they wait till the end of the year and he pops off this season, gets like 40 goals, 50 points, or 50 assists, 90 plus points, you're going to be paying him over 10. If you can get him by 8x8 now, you might as well fucking do it. And just give Shesterkin his 11.5, $12 million, make him the highest paid goalie, and there you go. I think that's what's going to happen. If I was a Rangers fan, I'd be encouraged that they've already offered that $11 million. Well, actually, I wouldn't be, because I'm terrified of paying goalies that much money. And I'm just nervous that, like, once you give them the money, they stop playing good. Like, it just look at Willie already. He's got his money. He's already, I'm lazy again, everybody. Ha! Remember lazy William Nylander? Ha! Well, I'm back, and now I'm making fucking $12 million. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm fine with it. I'm good. I'm fine. Anyway, New York with the Shesterkin thing. Yeah, it's a lot of money to pay for a goalie. He does seem to be worth it. And the cap should be going up. There is talks again that the cap could explode and just go crazy over the next few years. It all depends on the CBA and shit. I don't know. Until it happens, I can't really say it. Until we see what the fuck it's going to be, I can't really speculate where it's going, but it's going up. That's all we can really say with most confidence, as long as no other pandemics or some other horrible thing happens. The cap's going up. So these deals are going to look better, like the Guenther deals. If they got Lafreniere locked in for an 8x8, that could look amazing for the future. And who knows, maybe a $12 million extension for Shesterkin ends up looking really good, because maybe that's just the beginning of goaltending contracts getting crazy. Because we're looking at people like Jake Ottinger as well needs to get a contract extension. And what's he worth? He's worth at least, Allmark just signed fucking 8 point something. We'll talk, I don't know if I talked about that already, but you would have to imagine Ottinger's going to make more than Allmark, or in and around Allmark and Swayman. He's got a better track record than Swayman, Ottinger does, so he should be making more than that. So we're probably seeing the beginning of goaltenders making a lot more money. We might start seeing more goalies crack the $10+ million threshold. So yeah, we could be seeing a new era of goaltending. There's always been lots of talk around goaltenders. Are they overpaid? Are they underpaid? Are they overrated? Are they underrated? What is the importance of a goaltender to their team? I think it's more glaring if you have a bad goaltender in net. A bad goaltender will sink a good team. If you have a good team, if the goaltending's bad, you're done. The Leafs, I don't know how they've done it. They've managed to have league worst goaltending, and they continue to be a very good team. They had fucking an unplayable Peter Mrazek in net. They've had unplayable, what's his name? Fucking Jack Campbell, when he had his bad times. They've had just unplayable goalies in there, and they've still managed to win. But they wouldn't win in a playoff situation. If you have a competent goaltender, we've seen numerous competent goaltenders win cups. Darcy Kemper, Anton Hudobin didn't win the cup, but he made it there. Others have done it. It's happened. I swear, it's definitely happened before. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of money getting thrown around with the salary cap going up. And just a couple of notes, kind of like NHL stuff. Apparently, opening week viewership is quite down over last season. Problem being, they have the MLB playoffs are currently going on, so that's taking away viewership. But also the WNBA playoffs are also going on, and they're getting more viewership than the NHL. I'm not shitting on the WNBA. I know that player, that female, she's been like drawing a lot of new eyes to the WNBA. But if you're an NHL player or an NHL fan, don't you be like, yo, we're under the WNBA right now? Like, nothing against women's sports, but like, come on now. This is the opening week of the NHL. You got Connor Bedard, you got Sidney Crosby, you got McDavid, you got Matthews, and where the fuck are all the viewers at, man? I don't know. Maybe it's because you guys keep blacking out everything and no one can fucking watch your stupid product. Anyway, I'm not mad about it at all, but very interesting. Not the MLB thing. That's not news. I mean, MLB's always been way more popular than the NHL. Basketball, football, soccer, fucking spelling bees, you know, the normal shit. Everything's more popular nowadays than the NHL, even the WNBA. So I don't know if that's a panic situation or it's just the WNBA is doing way better than I thought it was. Like, hell yeah. I mean, that's great news for the WNBA. I'm very happy that people are watching it. I personally am not. It's just I haven't been watching a lot of basketball lately, honestly. Ever since Kawhi Leonard left the Raptors, my heart broke a little bit that day. I really like Kawhi Leonard, man. Really like that guy. And when he left, I kind of left. So, haven't watched a lot of basketball in a few years. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a bandwagon guy when it comes to the Raptors. I hopped on when they were good, and then I got off when they weren't good. You know, well, I was there for the DeMar DeRozan years and fuck Kyle Lowry, but I got tired of getting LeBron every year. Like, we're just going to get wrecked by LeBron. Like, they just don't have a guy good enough. And then they finally got Kawhi, and I was happy. I was very happy, and it worked. So anyway, not talking about basketball, but another thing that has happened in the NHL. Now, I don't really understand. I don't know 100% what the details are of this. All I know is that it's supposed to be really good. So apparently, CHL players will now be able to play in the USHL, like college hockey and stuff like that. So what I believe this is going to do is it's going to help out players that are probably too good for the CHL. They can go play in the USHL and the competition will be better for them so they can develop a little bit better. That's been a problem with these leagues. I don't remember which one it is specifically, but there are players that are like clear. I believe it's like Shane Wright was dealing with that. Like, he wasn't eligible to play like in the OHL, so he had to go back to the WHL or the CHL, where he was clearly too good. Like, he wasn't he wasn't getting any better there. He needed to go play with a higher competition, but he wasn't old enough, and he didn't have the option to go anywhere else other than. So now apparently there will be more options for players, which is great. So we could see more better players emerging. We're going to start seeing some more interesting things. I've already heard like some bigger name players have already committed to USA colleges to go play over there. So that's great, man. It just if they're just make those exceptions. Like, if they're just too good to play there, then let them go somewhere else. Like, I just don't, like, I understand it's a business and you don't want, like, man, like, oh, I have fucking Macklin Celebrini playing here. Like, oh, I don't want him to leave here and go there. Like, I need him here. He brings fans here. If he leaves, I got nothing. So, like, I get that business-wise, but you want your prospects to play in the best competition that they can play at. You don't want them just dominating all the time and they're not really learning anything. You want them to go up and have competitive games. Like, look at Austin Matthews, and when he went to play in Sweden or whatever, he was playing against men, and that was a great training tool to get him ready for the NHL. And look what he did. He scored 4 fucking goals in his first game. So it clearly helped. Yeah, it didn't look that great on the points board because, like, okay, he's playing against better competition. He didn't get 180 points in 46 games like he would have in the CHL or something. But he put up, like, 28 points in 25 games against men, which is very impressive for someone that's like 17, 18 years old. So that's encouraging. That looks like it's going to be a very good thing for young prospects coming up. We'll see how that plays out in actuality. If everything is the way that they say it's going to be, that will be great. And I think that's everything I want to talk about. I don't have many more notes, I don't think. If I missed it, I will talk about it next week. But let me know, y'all. What'd you think about the opening week to the NHL? Was it exciting? Was it awesome? What was your favorite game of the week? For me, by far, it's the Flames-Vancouver game. That was a ton of fun. It started out very not fun when the Flames were getting dusted early, but I love a good comeback game, and then a comeback on top of the comeback with a big... Oh, what a game that was. That was a fantastic game, so let me know what your favorite game was. And which team do you think should be hitting the panic button, and which team do you think will get out of it just fine? Is Edmonton going to have another horrible start to the season like they did last year and get their coach fired? Or are they going to pull out of it and get it together? They got Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. We'll figure it out, right? I don't know. Vancouver fans, you panicked yet? Are you worried? Are you gonna force Demko back into the net too early and he gets hurt and that you're really fucked? And I'd be really fucked because I drafted him and it's not looking good for me right now, okay? So I've taken some gambles and they are not paying off early. So I'm in rough shape right now in fantasy. Lost both my opening week matchups. Hopefully you guys, anyone's got to be doing better than me. I fucking suck at fantasy. I don't know what's going on. All right, I think that's it. I won't ramble about fantasy hockey too much more, and I'll send y'all on your way. But guess what? You're awesome. But if you want to be even more awesome, make sure you're reviewing the podcast. Share it with, 600-700 of your favorite friends, an enemy or two, and maybe a parent. Share it with them. Let them know about the podcast. And I have a Twitter page you can go follow along with. All those links are in the description. On Twitter, I put up announcements as best as I can, let you know when the episodes are available. And you can message me on there if you want a question answered live on the podcast. Send in a question on Twitter. There's a YouTube channel, GamerGX Videos. I upload all these podcast episodes over there if you want to watch them. And great place, drop a comment on the YouTube channel or episode. I'll see it there. Take a question. I'll answer it. Anything about hockey, wrestling, video games, outside of that, non-expert, but I will try. And there is an email address that I can't get into, but I will be able to get into it someday. And when I do, if there's any messages there from y'all, if you want to have a private conversation, my door is open for everyone and anyone, but I'm currently locked out of my email, so I will get there when I can. All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening. In terms of what else we got going on with the GX Plus cast this week, this week's GamerCast will be yet another horror-filled themed episode with Hellblade 1 and 2. Gonna go back and look at both of those games and answer the question, are those games worth your time? And why the fuck did Hellblade 2 just go completely unnoticed last year? I will be answering those questions on this week's GamerCast. That'll be coming out on Friday, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. WrestleCast, I think we're in the clear. No pay-per-views this week, but there were pay-per-views last week, and I reviewed them, so you can go back and listen to those reviews, and your wrestling recap will be normal this week, just a wrestling recap. I believe they have Collision is back on this week, so we'll have a Collision review. Probably scratch off the Rampage because I watched it last week and it's the same mess that it always is. Not really worth watching, so I probably won't, but if there's time, I will. All right, everybody, thank you one more time for listening. You the best, and we'll be back with some more GX Plus Cast.